Hi there, my name is Sierra Trask, Director of Keep It Local, Columbia County, and I thank you so much for finding this video. This video is part of our Winter 2023 Marketing for Success series, and so we're going to bring topics that every Columbia County, Oregon business should know and needs to know about marketing, and so really excited to put on this series. This is the very first class of that series, and so this one is covering the topic of marketing plans, and especially as it's the new year, what kind of best practices to do as you create your marketing plan for 2023. And so our speaker for this class is Jason Moon, who is the Small Business Development Director of Columbia County and the SBDC Center there. And then additionally, we have two panelists that have joined us. And so one panelist is Michael Murdoch, who is a credit union marketing specialist. He's amazing. He gives some really great advice in this video. In fact, it's almost like a motivational speech. And so I love that part of this. And then additionally, we had two panelists from Hallows Pizza, which is a local food truck in St. Helens, Oregon. And they are wonderful people. They talk all about their advice and lessons they've learned and some fun terms that we might steal from them called super fans, and additionally their advice on branding and finding authentic voice in everything that you do. So without further ado, enjoy this video. It's going to transition right into Jason talking about the marketing, like his tips, the 7 tips of creating your marketing plan. And then the video concludes with the panelists giving their advice. And then we had people attend the class and they were asking questions throughout the presentation. So thank you so much. And I hope you enjoy.
I created this slide deck a few years back when I was working for the Inroads Credit Union. I was managing a lot of the social media marketing and outreach, and we were just trying to come up with a more robust plan. When I came on to that team, we were just kind of winging it. So we really had to hone in on our focus and what it was that we were hoping to get across with our brand recognition. Again, I didn't hear of any burrito entrepreneurs in the house, but we do have Hallows Pizza, which is one of my favorite foods. So again, it doesn't matter if you're making pizza or if you're working for a credit union, you're able to kind of use these steps to help create a marketing plan that's unique for you and your business. The next slide. And my apologies if there's this flaming ball in the sky that is in my face right now. It feels great, but also I feel like it's washing me out a little bit. So, all right. So the first step is obviously preparing your business plan. So a lot of this comes with, the exploratory phase of brainstorming and writing down your ideas on how, again, you want to represent yourself, your business, and your brand. I think we can go to the next slide, Sarah. So again, every good plan starts with a good brainstorm. We can hit all the bullets on this, Sarah. We're going to breeze through all of these slides here. So again, there's going to be some acronyms that are used today, and we can clarify in the Q&A, but you'll hear a lot, your unique selling proposition, your USP. You'll hear words like brands. Very much want everyone in the room to consider themselves a professional. And when you're considering yourself a professional and you're starting a business, you really need to think about you and your business as a brand. You need to think about the ideal client and who you're marketing to. And we'll get a little bit into marketing budgets and capacity today, because that's always an issue, especially with brand new business owners, and just being able to establish those short-term and long-term goals. Next slide. Prioritizing your timeline. So this is vital. I know it's number 2 on here. It probably should be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You really have to prioritize your time as far as your marketing, because again, you're going to hit capacity issues, especially young entrepreneurs who are just in it, like Hallows Pizza. They went through the Shedco business plan competition, and they had a really robust business plan. They have experience now, but without that business plan and being able to make those priorities, maybe they wouldn't be here today. And I hate to say that, but a lot of businesses, there's 75% of businesses fail in the first 5 years. I hate to go doom and gloom here. However, when you do have a good plan and you're able to prioritize, that number shoots way up. I think it's a 65% success rate when you are able to establish a plan and establish a timeline and make those priorities. So again, it's not all failure. You can be a success. You just have to make sure that you're prioritizing. We'll go to the next slide and all those bullets, Sierra.
Before going right in those, one question is, what do you think of a pro forma model? That was asked by Angela.
I'm not sure what you mean by a pro forma model. You can mic in if you want, Angela. Or we can talk about it at the end.
Oh, I was just asking about it because I know like sometimes the pro forma model is like adapted in business models, but then people insert them at a different timestamp. And I always found them like in the mid of a business plan. But I always assume like to me, I was kind of curious of like your individual intake, because I always felt like it should be like at the beginning, because you're doing assessments of like potential income, the cost of spending. I don't know. I felt like you should have two, right? Two promo models in the business plan, not just one.
Yeah.
That's kind of like where I was like kind of viewing it, but
totally. And there's going to be a lot of overlap here, not only with the financial piece and the business plan piece and the marketing piece, but today we're just kind of going to try to hone in on the marketing plan side of it. And again, I'm more than happy to have side conversations and talk about working in the financial models, both at the front, middle, and end, business plans and marketing plans. But yeah, we'll touch a little bit on the financial piece here at the end.
oh, cool. All right, thank you.
All right, so this is pretty self-explanatory. It's we're talking about listing the do's and don'ts and not now. So you have to prioritize again what it is that you want to accomplish. Maybe it is building out that website because you feel that your audience is really going to want to be able to hit that website. Maybe it's you're buying targeted ads. It could be a social media campaign. I think all of us here in Columbia County know how much citizens here live and die by Facebook. So, maybe it's really targeting what that looks like for you and your social media presence. And again, we're talking about brand awareness and, how to make your brand stand out from others. So again, just being able to prioritize how you're reaching your audience and listing out those do's and don'ts. All right, next slide. This is something that always challenges me is realistic options. I think Sierra and I have a lot in common when it comes to this. We have these really big, grandiose ideas, and we have a lot of them. And it's really trying to figure out what is going to work and what's going to work best for us. And we struggle with this just from a keep it local and SBDC standpoint. So we know that small business especially struggles with trying to figure out this piece and how you're going to manage it. Typically, I think most of the people in this room are probably creating their own content, and that's really time consuming. Maybe you have someone that is what you would consider a marketing expert that you're able to ask for advice or contract with them or employ them in some way to help offload that from your plate. But again, there are people who do specialize in this that work one-on-one with your business, and that's an option too. If you have a little budget, if you have a little bit of money to throw at somebody who is a freelancer, and you just don't have the capacity to work on the marketing or the social media piece, then that's great, and you can focus on your business. But again, you just want to be able to set realistic expectations for yourself and for your business and what you're able to take on, especially when it comes to the marketing piece. All right, so I live and die by a calendar. I don't know about the others in this room. Everything that I have, meetings, when I'm posting on social media, website launches, everything is on my calendar. And I have multiple calendars, which becomes an issue in itself trying to navigate that. But again, planning is going to make you successful. So once you know what you want to do, being able to lay out that content in a calendar. And for me, it really helps that have the calendar in place first, and whether you're typing or writing things in, to be able to move things around, sort of like chess pieces on a board, and figuring out how that content is going to work for you. So yeah, you want to pay attention to the content and your strategy, whether it's social media or, again, targeted ads or website launch. You want to strategize that. When your content is going to be created and posted, released publicly, and of course, if and when something ends and you need to take something down. All that's really important to include in your content calendar. All right, we're going to go real quick through these slides. So again, this is knowing when to just send it, right? So many of us are perfectionists, and we will, to the bitter end, just pick apart whatever it is that we're sending out there in the world. And, Michael may disagree with this. I know that I lived in the credit union world, and it was vital that whatever that we put out there in the world was correct. But, as far as small businesses go, you don't want to get caught up on some of these imperfections and, being afraid that, it's not as good as it could be. You just want to be able to get your content out there and, again, start building your brand. So I think there's something in there that says shake off the analysis paralysis. And that happens with me a lot. I overanalyze, and sometimes you just got to hit send. And so this really plays in the last piece about taking a step back and seeing what it is that you're doing. Once you've created the plan, you have it in the calendar, you're sending it, you really want to take a step back and see what it's doing for you. Obviously, with social media and websites, you can analyze the click-throughs and the views and the conversions and all that good stuff. But just remember that it has a lifespan. So you want to be able to ensure that you're taking a step back and checking in pretty constantly on your plan. This is just really an extension of that last slide, and it's being able to adjust your plan as needed. So you want to take that data, you want to look at those strategies and adjust and adapt. So if a post flops, maybe you're going to, rather than just having a text post or an image, maybe you're going to look at doing a video. maybe you're going to look at doing things just a little differently to see and experiment to see how those conversion rates look, whether it's month to month or quarter to quarter. And then again, really just seeing the effort that you're putting into any of those campaigns, whether it's your new website or, email campaign or targeted ads, that they're actually working for you. And Angela, to answer your question there, we do have a social media basics that is coming up on the calendar. Sierra will be able to share those dates here at the end too. All right, and so, this says repeat annually. Again, you can tailor that to whether it's monthly, quarterly, but really what I like to do at the end of the year is be able to, just take a look at what it is that you're doing, because this technology world is evolving. Things are changing in social media, and you want to make sure that you're still relevant and you're still implementing the things that are current. And these are just some marketing resources in Columbia County. Like Sierra said, Keep It Local is a great resource. Their new website is going to be launching very soon. Also, the Small Business Development Center, if you sign up as a client, I'm able to help you with more marketing resources. And at the end of this class, again, we're going to be able to send you with some slides and a little bit of marketing planning homework.
Do we want to move right into the panel before we go to the next slide?
Yeah, so again, I just want to be mindful of time here. You've met Michael and Erin, and I just want to give them a chance to sort of speak to their experience in the marketing fields. I'll probably kick off with you, Michael. I was just wondering if you could give us an example of some successful marketing plans or campaigns that you've ran through your current position or even past roles in your marketing roles.
Absolutely. I'm more than happy to share what I'm currently working on, the strategic plan that I pitched to my executive leadership team. I know that it's a little different than small business being part of a larger financial organization. However, I've been in the small business place. I've worked with many small businesses. So I can, before I jump into that, I resonate with a lot of what Jason just shared. It's important to go through a number of steps before you really start putting your plan into place. I would say that, especially right now and I hate this phrase, but in our times of uncertainty, really embracing that we have uncertainty. So you might assume that launching a business or doing a brand refresh or starting over is risky, but ignore that. Kind of throw that all away. You need to understand your consumer, who your customer might be. You need to understand your market, and you need to understand yourself first. So again, that perfection comment that Jason talked about, move away from that and just understand that nobody's perfect, and you have to start somewhere. So it's okay to start a business during a recession. It's okay to start a business when a pandemic is raging through the community. It's okay to make that decision and really follow your gut and believe in that. That being said, you also need to prepare yourself to fail. What is it? It's Batman. Why do we fall? So we can pick ourselves back up again, right? You learn as you move forward. So it's okay to fail too. It's okay to make mistakes. Don't beat yourself up if something doesn't go the way that maybe you'd hoped. So failures should almost be celebrated in some ways, because they really do provide you opportunities to learn, from what could be or what's next. What did Churchill say? Said, if you're going through hell, keep going. Not to make it that doom and gloom, but that leads me to my next thought. When I'm creating a plan, lean into what you're good at. What are you the best at? If you find something that you're like, wow, I am nailing this every single time, lean into that first. Then, and again, don't look at your failures as failures, look at them as opportunities. Then you can start to kind of baby step through the rest of it. One thing that's great about the program that Sierra and Jason are involved with is that network really makes your net worth. So build that support system, which is generally your community. Small businesses rely on the community, just like the community relies on small businesses. You know folks. What's great, having lived in Columbia, now I'm in Clatsop, but living in Columbia County in St. Helens, is that when we would go to any sort of event in the community, everybody knew each other, right? Not almost to a clicky point, but those support systems really can build that business, because you'll rely on them just as they rely on you. If your business is having some trouble, you can rely on the community. And again, it's just avoid the perfection, because nobody's perfect. When you're looking at starting a business or looking at your plan or doing a refresh or anything like that, find one item that that you can fix now, today. Again, it's baby steps. It's not about putting duct tape on everything and moving forward as the ship is sinking. You don't have to build the airplane while it's flying. Take your time with it. And that's where that perfection item can really make or break you. Know that you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to get everything done and figured out right away. And then, of course, which we're all good at because we live in our community, is knowing your audience, know who you're marketing to, know the folks that might be walking into your shop or clicking on your website. And that's why you want to start with a very, I don't want to call it narrow focus, but pinpointed. Know where you're starting, so that aim small, miss small type of thing. And then you want to be, and this is another term that I don't like to use, but it's true. You need to be ready to pivot. So leave a little room for yourself in case of those opportunities, those failures, so that you can move quickly and adapt quickly. There's a lot of room for space that we as humans don't leave ourselves sometimes. So if something doesn't go right, we like to move on quickly, or we give up. Leave room so that you can really let that failure become that opportunity that I was talking about earlier. And then, I saw in the chat somebody was looking at a candy business. I love that. That makes me think, like, do something you really love, like Hallows Pizza. Jaimie was talking about being in the restaurant industry for a long time. You found something that he loved to do. You find something that you love to do, and then it sticks with you, and you just get better and better at it, because if you love what you do, you're not really working, right? So I know that that's kind of stars and moon and sunrises and kitty cats and puppy dogs, but it's true. If you find something that you love, even the bad days, you can find those opportunities. I don't want to take up too much time, but I can share some of my marketing plan later, Jason. I didn't let you know that I have that, but we can totally do that later. But I'll leave room for the other experts to speak.
Yeah, I really appreciate those thoughts and comments. You brought up some really good points. One of them being the lean into your community. I mean, it's one reason that we're all in this class today, right? So obviously we don't have enough time to develop 30 marketing plans in an hour. That's not happening, right? But we want everyone that's here today to be able to lean into each other, whether that's me, Sierra, Michael, Erin, Jaimie. This is a small, tight-knit community, and we want to take full advantage of that. So know that if you leave here today with more questions than you arrived, you have people in your community to help you, including a lot of us in this room right now. And the other point that you made is being able to pivot, right? Like leaving space for that. I think somebody put in the chat, that breathing space. Take that as an opportunity to reevaluate and not feel like you're stuck. So, and again, lean into the people that you see in this room or people that you trust outside of this room. Thanks for that, Michael. Erin and Jaimie, obviously you guys are small business, and I kind of want to throw it to you guys. What sort of channels do you consider when you're developing or pivoting your marketing plan? You know, as a cart in St. Helens, how are you reaching you know, potential customers, clients, and what have you done over the course of the last couple of years to sort of pivot through those channels?
I think doing the initial marketing plan was so helpful for us. And I agree with everything you presented. And I would also add that really drilling down to the why you're doing something and the story behind what you're doing something, because ultimately you want to engage with real people and not bots. And so to have a very authentic voice that you start to cultivate right in your marketing plan. And with us, we're just two people, but so we had to kind of find a way. We have different voices, but Hallows has a united voice that's kind of a combination of both of us. And we really developed that doing the marketing plan. And so in the St. Helens is very Facebook focused. We mostly do Instagram and it works for us. But I think instead, we do look at the algorithm and we look at our data reports, but ultimately we are most interested in engagement. And so, and bringing real people to our window. And so I think working on that kind of authentic voice and story and sharing that with people is really, it number one, helps to build the community, which is the most vital thing in our business. And it opens up all kinds of avenues to collaboration, which has also been a very fulfilling part of our business. But it also, every time, Instagram, for example, every time you respond to a comment or you make yourself available in your DMs, you are moving up in the algorithm for that person and then that person's network. So I think we are more interested in actual engagement than just numbers of views. And the other thing is not getting too attached to, in 2 years, Instagram has changed a lot. And so you can't really get attached to exactly how one platform works. And I agree, we also live by a calendar, but there has to be a lot of flexibility in what that is going to look like, because things might be different 2 months down the road when you are ready to launch this particular story. So you have to, I think, being kind of rooted in story and why, and then being able to pivot on the actual execution as far as marketing goes has worked. I mean, it's been a very chaotic 2 years in the world. So this is coming from someone who opened a business in COVID. Maybe it won't feel quite as uncertain, but what do you have to add?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think an authentic voice is one of the things we do best. I think because we are just two people, we do have a pretty united front. How we present things, I think the quality of our images to go along with the messages that we're sending has worked really well for us, and we're able to get like real conversation going and create friends. And ultimately, what I think works best for us is to cultivate super fans, which is a super fan is someone that will do marketing for you. If you do something exceptionally well and you really focus on quality, people will pick up on that and they will market for you. And that's that they'll tell their friends, their family, local people, and that's been huge. And I also think for us, being able to pivot was a big part. We're new to this. 2 years ago, we were very new to this, and there's a lot of things we really didn't take into account. We didn't take into account that probably, at least half a month we would have to take off in the summers because it was just too hot to be in the park. We just can't operate. So being able to pivot and look towards like catering, doing outside catering where we're not stuck in the hot box here was great. And so thinking of like what you can do to pivot away when things aren't working for you in the immediate moment will really help us and really saved our summer in a lot of ways, being able to do wedding caterings and business openings and that sort of thing. So
and also I really agree with what Michael said about failure and being able to kind of get into a mindset that pivoting is not failure. It is a creative act to be able to take some adversity and then change your mind. But if you can kind of return to like, why am I doing this in the first place? You can make some decisions that are still in line with your values, but maybe just a slightly different version of what you put down in that initial marketing plan. But yeah, I have some perfectionist qualities for sure. And being a business owner has really made me have to let go of a lot of that, because you can control a lot, but there's a lot you can't control. And you have to get in a mindset that it isn't failure to pivot and to try again and to eliminate things that didn't work. And also to really celebrate the things that do work. And when you have a community that has been a part of that, that's also really fulfilling, because you are sharing that triumph with all the people that helped you. And this community is very supportive. That's been our experience.
I absolutely love the theme that is happening right now. As we're talking about pivoting as opportunities, we're talking about an authentic voice, the why we're here, why we're doing this. You look in this room, we have seamstress and artists and photographers and, all these potential actors. You have all these real passions that people and business owners and entrepreneurs have, and I love hearing that, the why, and then that extension of the authentic voice. I think Sierra put something in the chat. We did do something in the series last go around about branding and your voice, and that's really important, because people figure out pretty quickly if you're not being authentic. So you guys have done a great job of that here in the community, and I love the super fan. I'm stealing that, Jaimie, just so you know. I always use ambassador. That sounds stuffy compared to super fan. So yeah, find your super fans and
it's that enthusiasm has a contagion to it. And if you are enthusiastic and can create people to have an enthusiasm for what you do on those really low days, and there will be low days, you can kind of lean on your super fans for that enthusiasm too. And it kind of feeds each other. So yeah, it's been
and the concept of just trying new things, I think is important, because there's a lot of things that we've done that we thought were going to be amazing and we're going to blow it out of the water. And then there's things that we've done that we were just like, I don't know, are we, is this just some mediocre thing we're putting out there? And you don't really know what people are going to, be attracted to once you put it out there. So we try a lot of different things, and we're surprised a lot of the time. Sometimes the things we think are going to be great are kind of fall flat, and the things that we think are going to fall flat are huge. So that's been kind of a fun experiment for us, is to like make a weirder special than the last, and see what happens. It's fun creatively for us. And if you're not having fun, and if you're not being creative, especially when you control your own business, it can be a slog sometimes. So take a little bit of risk. Focus on your creative side of the business and put it out there. That if people don't pick up on it, there's a million other things. So we do that pretty much every week. It's just try something new.
Exactly. Well, there's some great comments in the chat. David put, failing is not fatal. I love that. It is not. It's life feedback for sure. And then Angela commented about, just enthusiastic business owners. I mean, that comes through, that makes the consumer, the customer, the client want more of you, more of your brand. So, and that shines through with Hallows specifically. So, I know that we're crunching time here. I don't know if we have any other slides we want to jump through and then hit Q&A real quick, Sierra.
Yeah, I'll sprint right through those.
And I have time after the call if people want to stay on. I want to be mindful of Michael and Erin and Jaimie's time. Sure Sierra has a little bit of time as well, but
yes. Yeah, I'll send that after as well.
It should cover in 1 hour. Obviously it's not enough. I'm making myself available not only after the call, but beyond. We'll be following up with those marketing plan links for a little bit of homework, and we'll be able to, if each and every one of you want to be able to step through a marketing plan, we'll have that SBDC link where you can sign up to do that. Looks like Michael's going to be sharing his plan, his visuals as well. So thank you for that, Michael. This slide just shows the coming up in the series. We have a marketing 101. We had that social media centric one with Facebook and Instagram, getting the most out of your website, advice for selling online, and then the workshop week. Do you want to expand a little bit on that, Sierra?
Yeah, so some feedback we got from the last series is that people loved hands-on activities. So we're going to try to offer 3 hands-on activities. One's adding people to our new website directory. One will be free one-on-one Facebook and Instagram advising with local advisors in the community. And then one will be we're going to work with photographers and videographers in the community, and they'll offer special bundles during that week. And so you can access that in case you're trying to figure out, I need more content, but my phone's not doing it. So that will be also offered.
Awesome. Thank you.
And then, yes, and that's a QR code you could scan, or feel free to just find it on Eventbrite. And then this is our contact information, but I'll just leave it back open to the room. If there's more questions that people have for the panelists, we can use these last few minutes for that.
Yeah, any other questions? There's been a lot of talk around pivoting. I had to pivot a little bit today. My laptop went down on me right before this. I'm using my son's laptop, stumbling through some slides in my notes here. So I appreciate everyone bearing with me. But again, I really appreciate, I'm a super fan of Hallows Pizza. I'm a super fan of Michael Murdoch. I really appreciate each of you being here today and giving a little bit of your story and advice. I'm just curious if there's any other questions for the group that people have before the panelists depart.
I also want to add, if anybody thinks of questions for us, feel free to reach out to us. We are on, you can DM us on Instagram if you use it, or our email is just hallowspizza@gmail, or stop by the cart. Sometimes we're busy, but we are, this business was definitely built on a marketing plan and community, and we are happy to give back in whatever way can be supportive. So if you don't have any questions at the moment, but something comes up later, feel free to reach out to us.
Appreciate that, Erin. Thank you.
I also wanted to say that we have space over here at the community center if anybody ever wants to come over and do any kind of networking and create marketing stuff. We have a big space with tables and Wi-Fi, and I think sometimes it's helpful to meet with others that are working on similar goals and projects and having a safe space to share ideas for marketing. So I know that's kind of where I run into a wall sometimes. So if anybody ever wants to come over to the community center and do that, I think that would be a great opportunity as well.
That's amazing. Thanks for offering that up. There are some other community spaces that are fairly accessible. I have some contacts in the community, so if for some reason the community or the Shauna Center doesn't work for you, or location wise, Sierra and I know of a few other community spaces in each of the cities in the county. I also want to add that we're pretty well connected in the community as far as networking groups go. So if ever you want to sort of network or market yourself in person, reach out to me. There's a lot of opportunities here in the county, whether it's through Chamber of Commerce or Rotary or Kiwanis or any of the other service groups. There's a ton of opportunity to get known and get your name and business out there.
Awesome. Well, we're right at the time mark, so I'll stop the recording and then we'll stay after if anybody has more questions. But thank you to our panelists. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, everybody that came here today. I really, really enjoyed this class. It was really interesting to learn from one another.